Hey, welcome to episode 6 of Brand Storytelling Prompts. I'm your host, Carrie Legend, and today we're going to be tackling a very important question, the why question. The big why. Like, why are you working within your brand? Why are you choosing to write the kind of content that you do? What is making you get up every day and putting out the content that you do? So it's a very important question, why. And I think people enjoy hearing the why behind your brand because they like to understand your motives and your intent, and also at the same time your aspirations and what you have planned for the next venture. So today's prompt is to tell a story about why you do the work that you do. This could be something meaningful or purposeful, like a story that involves your family, kids, a customer, a former employer or a colleague, or even yourself. Be sure to share the raw emotions in explaining your why. Express your emotions you often feel when you think about your purpose of why you work so hard on your brand. Now, for me personally, I could answer this question or even attempt to address this big why question in a number of different ways. Um, I think first back to working a career job for a large stationer company, and I remember how miserable I was. And I think just after years of trying to fight for equal pay and equal recognition and um, having like design ideas stifled just because it wasn't mainstream, or you kind of get tired of fighting. So when you strike out on your own, you'd almost like rather work 80 hours to 120 hours a week just for yourself, just for that sense of like, hey, I'm doing this. I might be working like 3 or 4 times the amount of hours that I would have worked in my career job, but I'm happy doing it. So I think about like what I'm not having to do anymore, um, being able to work on my own brand. So you could take that perspective. I also do it for my kids. I believe that what I'm doing is someday going to benefit them. And if it's just a matter of like watching mom work during the day or taking part in looking at reports or seeing what mom's designing, I want to show them that you can work anywhere and be anywhere and be able to take, like an hour off to go swimming if I want during the day, or I can help them with homework in the morning and have that not be such a big deal. So we have just a different lifestyle than most have, and that's special to me, and I want to make sure that they can share in that. I also do it for my customers. I think my customers have certain distinct needs that need to be met, and they need somebody with some insight and skill sets that they may not possess. And so I like to be their solution. I like to be able to teach them at the same time, not just be there to provide the solution or great design or even like the words, but also to inspire and motivate and teach them and empower them to make, good decisions going forward. Even if it's not like the, you go girl, like, sometimes I'm very much like, hey, let's take a step back. Like, I'm not exactly sure I agree with what I think, you know, you feel the problem really is. Like, what if it's this or that? Or what if you actually just need more of this instead of, that? I'm not afraid to tell my customers and my readers, like, I'm not sure that you've nailed the head on this one. And I would encourage you to just take a pause and just think for a minute if that's the path that you really think is right. Um, so although although I like to think of myself as, like a kind of like a coach almost. I like to think of myself as like a sounding board. Like people come to me sometimes like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or my Pinterest account isn't growing like I thought. Like, what do you think I'm doing wrong? I'm not afraid to tell them the honest answer. I like to be honest and sometimes blunt to a fault, unfortunately, but at least they understand the reason why um I feel a certain way, and I try to be sensitive about that as much as I can. Um, but I think my customers appreciate honesty, and I think they appreciate good design, and they know a good designer when they stumble on one. So that's valuable to me. So I often think about, you know, these three things as I'm working even just within my brand about my purpose. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. And maybe that's partially why I like the challenge. I like the struggle of building. I like being able to communicate, and I think words matter. And I think of life as a journey, and maybe that's just the sage years kind of settling in a little bit. But I think as you age, you get smart and wiser, and you realize how much communication matters. And I think communicating with you matters, and I think word choice matters. I think design style matters. Um, and so, again, those are the things that I think about. So I want you to take some time to really think about your why, because it may not be even centered around money. And yes, money's good, money's important, but money is not the reason why you choose to work the hours on your brand like you do. If you really think about it, it's not. If you weren't happy working in your brand, you wouldn't be putting in the hours that you do. So, those are the thoughts for today. Those are my tips, and that's my feedback. Just right off the cuff. So, take some time and really think about your why and start constructing a story that centers around that big question why, because I think that this is an important story for your customers and readers to hear. And I know that I'm definitely interested in hearing your reason why. Um, I enjoy getting those emails. So keep sending them in. I love reading your stories. All right, that's all I have for today. Happy writing.